What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Elliott Delp, and today we are going to be going over the Primary Arms SLx 1:6 low power variable optic rifle scope. So let's get right into it. So, like I said before the intro rolled, we are going to be reviewing this Primary Arms 1:6 SLx rifle scope. This is the kind of budget-ended low power variable optic. Comes right in around $289. So Primary Arms has a more expensive version of this. So this is really on the budget side of things, and that's really good because it's hard to find a 1:6 that's under $300. So before we get into really talking about a lot of specs on this optic, I would like to say thanks to Primary Arms for sending it out to the channel to do a review on. It means a lot to me, and I was super excited to get my hands on it and test it out because there's a lot of hype around this optic, especially being at such a budget price. So to begin talking about some of the specs of the optic, I will use the cheat sheet on the back of the box here. So it is a second focal plane scope. Which means that when you zoom in, your reticle does not change size. So the zoom that the reticle is correct at, or that the holdovers work at, is on the 6 power. This is a 5.56-308 optic, and it works for a bunch of other calibers such as the 6.5 Grendel, 6.8 SPC, and I think 5. It's the AK-74 caliber. I forget what that caliber is, but it works for that as well. So those are what the holdovers are good for, and we'll go over the reticle later on in the video. But let's keep talking about kind of the specs of the optic. So it is waterproof, or waterproof. I don't know how waterproof it really is. I didn't take it and throw it in a pond, and go on from there, but it says it here, it claims to be waterproof. Fog proof, nitrogen purged. It comes with the flip up sights, which is really nice, or flipped up lens covers, which is really nice. A lot of optics don't come with that, and you have to buy it separately, and they can be about 20-30 bucks, and any 20-30 bucks you don't have to spend is a good 20-30 bucks. And that's about it, other than the lifetime warranty, which is awesome. Alright, so let's go over a little bit about the optic, and we'll work our way from the rear part of the objective to the front objective. So if we start here at the back, you have your diopter focus, you have your magnification, which, like I said, does go from 1 to 6. Moving on further along, you have your scope caps, which are not exposed, so you do have to unscrew them to get to them, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, this is a second focal plane scope, so you probably won't be adjusting it that much. Once you zero it, should be good to go. Alright, so and then you have your illumination. So this is red, and it does go from a 1 to 11 power, and the illumination on this optic is very nice, so that when you are in low light scenarios, it really does shine bright, and it does do very well. It helps you pick up that target, and I like it a lot. Okay. And moving forward, you have your front objective and the lens cover for that. And it is anodized black, pretty much like everything else is. Finish is nice. I can never tell a difference. I have tons of different optics, and they all have the same finish on them. I can never tell. So it is nice. It does look good. Nice quality paint job on it. Okay. So now let's talk more about the reticle. So the reticle is the ACSS reticle, and this reticle is really used for really good holdovers and range finding. So that being said, let's talk a little bit about it. I'm going to pop it up on screen on one of these corners here. I'll do that in post-production. But so you want to zero your reticle at 100 yards. So that'll be the very tip of your chevron. And let's say we're doing this for 5.56. Then after you zero it at 100 yards, it should be ready to go for 200 at the bottom part of the chevron. So you'll have the tip, and then you'll have where the bottom kind of line is down here. That's going to be your 200 yard. and then the tippy top of your kind of like post there in the middle is 300, and then you can see your 4, 6, and 8. So your calibration should be down all the way to 800 yards. I only took it out to 300 and it was able to hold, and it did do fairly well. Alright, so if you want to range something out, you can see your horseshoe. That horseshoe will take up 18 inches at 200 yards. So if you have your target downrange and it is 18 inches, that horseshoe will completely engulf it at 200 yards. Which is a really good tool to use if you are ranging anything and you don't really know the distance, but you know the size of your target. If you go down even further, you have your 400 at your 4 dash on that pole down below. That should take up an 18-inch target at 400 yards, and so on and so forth for your 6 and your 8. Moving out to the sides of that post, you have your wind holdovers, and then you have on the side of your reticle, over on this side, you have another range estimation tool, and this is for like body-sized targets. So if you can see where the 4 is, if you have a target that fits between the top of the 4 and the line below the 8, that is 5 foot 10 inches at 400 yards. If you have it that fits between the 6 and the bottom bar below the 8, that is 5 foot 10 inches at 600 yards. Okay, so then the last type of kind of ranging feature is those dots beside your horseshoe. Those are used as a running target. I think they go about 8.5 miles an hour. So if you want to lead something, you would use those, which is very convenient if you're using like coyotes or something that probably would be moving a little bit. That would be a very nice kind of tool to use out in the field when you are using that. Alright, so let's talk about how the Optic performed. So I ran the test on my Diamondback 556, and I think the Optic performed excellent. It was very crisp. It did very good at different ranges. I liked it for close range and kind of the longer ranges. Like I said, I took it out to 300 yards. When I used Hornady Black, this one I took it out. I tried to take it out with Wolf and it did not hold right, but it's not meant for Wolf. Wolf's usually a little bit hotter than a lot of stuff, so the ACSS reticle didn't really work as well. But when I took it out with the Hornady, it did do good. It held it to 300. The only reason I didn't take it past 300 is because I don't really have a great place to do that at. Not a really controlled environment. So that was kind of my limitation there. But to 300 it did do very well. Okay, so in conclusion, I think that the Optic is a great value. It's hard to beat $289 for a low power variable that goes from 1 to 6. I have several low power variables. This is the least expensive of them at the time, and honestly I can say it's probably my favorite. It's light. It's not as heavy as some of the other ones I have. That can be a problem with low power variable optics, is they can weigh a little bit more, and that can, depending on what you're doing, be a damper and be a turn off really for your build. So all I can say is I think it's worth the buy. It's worth the checkout. Go look at it on Primary Arms and also Amazon. A link will be in the description down below, so you can go check it out on Amazon. Okay, so I really think that about does it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something. If you did, go hit the like and subscribe button, and also go comment down below what you'd like to see me review next. I'm always looking for the next thing to bring it on the channel and tell you guys what I think about it. So I think that about does it. As always, guys, take someone outdoors. I will see y'all next time.